We have finally got the perfect weather to go up to the northern tip of Manjack Cay. We've been wanting to go there because we've heard so many good things about it, about how there's so much wildlife, it's beautiful, the turtles and the rays will come right up to you. It's a really hard anchorage to find the perfect conditions. The winds are going to be calm and they're going to be coming from the south, so it'll be perfect up there. It's really hard under any other conditions because it's not well protected, and you'll get wraparound currents because it's right next to a cut. So it's going to be perfect conditions, and we're headed up there. You ready for our next destination?
Sure. I'll
All right.
go raise anchor.
Get everything ready up here.
I've added an additional chart to our sailing setup. So now we have two companies' charts, both electronics. One is called Explorer Charts and the other one is Navionics. And between the two of them, the charts show different depths in many cases around the Bahamas. Explorer charts are very good. They have some drawbacks. They're just basically representations of what you can buy on paper, but they're electronic. Navionics charts are not as good with the depths, and the depth readings on both of the charts are significantly different in many cases, and usually the Explorer charts are correct in those shallow areas. So as we go through this small shortcut, I can watch where we're going through my monitor here, which has a basic map from Navionics. Then I can also look at what Navionics information has on its maps through my tablet. This chart is even more detailed than this chart that I spoke of initially. And then finally, main go-to source for depth that I use now is this Explorer charts. So as a result, we now have three different screens that we use when we're going through narrow and or shallow passages.
Trying to gauge the depth, it's kind of hard. What's the depth?
It's between 2 and 3 under the keel.
After a quick 2.5 nautical mile sail from the southern anchorage of Manjack Cay, including a short pass through a shallow area with shifting sands, we arrived in the northern anchorage of Manjack Cay. We found ourselves in a lovely cove with rocky ledges on two sides and a beautiful white sand beach in front of us. It is beautiful here. Now let's go see if we can find some wildlife. Oh, wow. He's a pretty one. Wow, look how beautiful he is. Under again. I think he's bored of us. He's had his fill. He does not get very close. In addition to the turtles, we also spot several lemon sharks, several nurse sharks, as well as several stingrays. We land our dinghy on the white sand beach, and after admiring the stingrays, we look for the path to access both the west side and Atlantic side of the island. I think we found the path. We are at Manjack Cay or Manjack Cay, depending on the map you're looking at, and we are on the path. Jim has just passed through the gauntlet of bees. It is now my turn. We've had to go through a ton of these areas where there were localized bees. Because of the bees, we did not take the labmaraners along the inland paths. Instead, we dinghied the labmaraners to this beautiful white sand beach for a walk. There's a well-worn path that leads from the Atlantic side beach all the way over to this beautiful Manjack beach. I think we've been here before. There's another patch of them up here. Let me show you. Oh. I am not usually afraid of bees at all, but there are a ton of them that you have to walk through. It's like a path of fire, only it's a path of bees. And the last stop on our walk was to the beautiful white sand beach that was on the Atlantic side. Well, we've reached the Atlantic beach side. It's really lovely here. This is one beautiful beach, isn't it?
It is one beautiful island.
It is.
And we have it all to ourselves.
Adding a little artistic flair. I've been getting pretty good at walking on these limestone carbonate surfaces. You always want to bring a pair of shoes because there's always this limestone carbonate whenever you're walking around. And it's a bit dangerous, but I've gotten pretty good at it. We head out to the Atlantic side with our snorkel gear to check out one of the barrier reefs in the Abacos. The barrier reefs that border the Abacos outer islands make up the third largest barrier reef system in the world. So we're gonna go snorkel. It looks a little murky, so I don't think we're gonna see a whole lot, but we will see what we see. After having so much success earlier, I head out again, this time on paddleboard, to see if I can spot some more wildlife. I had mentioned that the winds to stay in the northern tip of Manjack Cay had to be perfect. Well, the winds have changed, so we have to head for someplace with northern protection. So we're heading up to Powell Cay today. It's a relatively short sail, and we're looking forward to spending a couple days there before the weather changes again. From Manjack Cay, it's a 7 nautical mile sail to Powell Cay, where we anchor in a lovely cove fronted by a beautiful white sand beach. While anchoring, we see a sunken barge in the water which we plan to explore. But first, we check out the trails with the LabMariners. We're on Powell Cay, and we easily found the bluff trail. There's a thick, lush layer of plant life here. And this is the beautiful view at the end of the bluff trail. Head back. Sometimes you gotta do a little off-trail walking. I think we found another trailhead. It looks like we're still on the right direction. But we can definitely say this trail is well marked. We've hit a roadblock. We hit a section of the trail that looks a little marshy ahead of us. Jim's forging ahead to see if it's too marshy for us to go through with the dogs. What's it look like ahead?
Marshy, and then a hill, and then the ocean, and then a walk along the ocean.
That's mucky. Fortunately, there's some boards to walk along. I think we made it to the ocean side.
We did.
That's a pretty flower. So behind me where you see the waves crashing, this is the windward side. It's always interesting to come over to the windward side when we're anchored in a nice, calm leeward side and see just how much wind there actually is. Because sometimes you forget when you're in such a nice, calm anchorage. We found another sign. Hopefully this path will be a little bit easier. It won't take us through that mucky marsh area. So it looks like a nice sign behind me, but it doesn't seem to lead to any trails. So we're gonna have to either take the other path back or find another way. What you think of this spot? Nice beach, huh? With that wind, it makes it really cool. Walking in the mucky section. Girls. How many did you get in there?
9.
Oh.
Definitely more on this one.
Ooh, ouchies.
10. 11.
How many was that?
12.
Lots of these little prickly things everywhere. Ouchies.
Yeah, that's the bow of the boat.
So what do you think of the new underwater lights?
They're beautiful from right here. I put them on the right spot. They couldn't go any higher up the hull.
Yeah. I don't see any fish yet. You can see the rudder pretty well.
Okay.
And there's some little tiny fish around the rudder. So this is what it looks like from on our roof. So what's your opinion of the new lights?
They are bright, and I like them all the way around here.
In the morning, we go check out the sunken ship.
It's got to be like 7 pounds. Maybe 10.
Jim obviously sees them, but can you spot the lobsters? How many lobsters are you going to bring back for me?
At least 5.
5.
Hopefully.
All right.
Okay.
Lobster number 1. We just went snorkeling on this sunken boat, and there were a whole bunch of lobsters there. So Jim's went back and he's decided to try to catch a few of them. It looks like quite a catch. Well, 5 is promised. So what are we going to do with the 5 lobsters that Jim caught? Well, 4 of them we're going to put in the freezer to use at a different time, and 1 of them we're going to grill up today. I like to have the lobster grilled up, and then we can use the meat for numerous meals, usually 2 meals for a lobster tail.
Sizzle, sizzle.
Looks like delicious.
Yep. Spin it around.
This one looks pretty good. Spin it around.
It's the next step.
To turn off the gas to the grill. Safety first. Oh! Caramelized lobster was a sign of a good meal. I'm starting to do it okay.
It smells good.
See how this one looks? Oh yeah.
Oh, it smells good. Let's see.
Well, let's cut into it and see if it's done. So, sweetie, it's white and flaky all the way through. So we know it is done. And it's also quite hot in the middle. And now we have to let it wait for, I don't know, 15 minutes until it is easily held. If the shell is cool enough that I can hold it, then I think it's cool enough that I then take the meat out.
And one of the things that I like to make, and I'm making tonight, is lobster pasta. And for the lobster pasta, I use a butter, garlic, and white wine sauce. Throw in a little leeks and tomatoes. And then serve it up with a spaghetti. And it's really delicious. Join us next week when we visit the pigs at No Name Cay, enjoy fun and games at Great Guana Cay, and snorkel the reefs in Powell Cay Reserve.